Well, first of all, now I'm more nervous because I'm competing against American and Canadian, so my English is not as well as theirs. So, um,
Oh, by the way, I'll add one thing. If you have an accent, it's a plus.
okay, then I have advantage. Okay, so fear me.
Because you make people...
First of all, I'm going to talk about the challenges and how to overcome fear. And I think that there's three main spaces where you will be always challenged. The first one is like regarding your love life, because it's a very complicated love life, you know. The professional life and social life, right? So I'll start with the first one, that is the easiest one, love life. I suck at it, so that's it. Yeah, finished. Social life, it has to be with your friends, with your family, and I would like to ask you, does anyone here dislikes me? No? Raise your hand, no?
This
One, I'll talk with you later. but it's 1 from 20, so I'm fine. Social life, good so far. And now I want to talk to you about my professional life, because this actually has to do with the other two circles that are here. Everything started like my first epiphany of my life that has brought me here started when I was in high school and I wanted to attend to the best high school there was in my town. I come from Puebla, Mexico, by the way. And it's so expensive that my family wasn't able to afford it. My dad was growing as a businessman, but he wasn't ready to really pay a good university and a good high school for me. So then I went to my father and I tried to get emotional with him because he studied there, right? But in the university. Then I came here, I went to talk to him and he said like, hey dad, can I please go to the Tec of Monterrey? I was like, Moy, we've talked about it. I don't have the money to pay you. Please dad, please let me go there. Just as you did. Didn't work. And he said, no, Moy, you know we don't have the money. I will pay you any university you want, but not high school. And I'm like, Dad, let's make a deal, please. Okay, Moy, how about if you get 50% bachelor, then I'll pay the other half. Like, Dad, it's the third grade of high school, and I don't think my grades will be able to get the bachelor. Okay, it's a shame for you. So I had to put all my effort to get the best grades in 1 year to increase my grade all over the 3 years. And that was my first victory. Because I went with my dad and I told him, Dad, guess what? I have a bad news, but it's good because I didn't get 50% bachelor. He was like, okay, then you won't go. And wait, how about I got 60% bachelor? And then I was able to go. And it was, okay, a deal is a deal. He got me a car, and I was able to attend the best high school there is in Puebla. And I was so happy. It was like my first real victory, you know? My first real thing, because it's something that I wanted to do, and it was something that would link me with my father, because my father is this tough guy, you know? I don't know if all your fathers are like this. I think they are. But it's like this tough guy that he is always serious, and he's like, yeah, you always have to be a good businessman and a good parent and a good husband and everything, you know? So that was my first victory. I was able to be there. And when I graduated, I went to enter to the best university there is in town, obviously, right? I mean, if I was in the best high school, I have to go into the best university. So that was my next challenge. I need to get bachelor again, and I only got 30% bachelor because the high school was so intense and difficult that I really didn't get the best grades, but I was good enough to get the 30% bachelor. And there I go again with my dad. Daddy, guess what? What's up, Mike? I got a 30% bachelor for my university. Yeah, I don't think that's enough. Dad, do you remember the promise you made me that you would pay any university? Okay. So that okay was more than enough. I just turned around and went and yeah, okay, now I got the university. So I got the university, I started studying. It's one of the most difficult careers there in Mexico. It's called actuary. I don't want to bother you with that because it's boring, it's math. So I don't want to answer in detail. So I was able to get that, and I never knew that my real fear was to not get to my dad's expectations, you know? I always believed it was just about my career, my professional career, my professional challenges, but it has always been the fear to be to my dad's expectations. So what happened is that after I finished bachelor, I really did my best, because at some point I lost my bachelor. I broke my leg, and then I got influenza, that is a very bad disease, and I failed 2 classes. So that was like one of the worst moments I had to overcome in my life, not because of the bachelor, but because I had to look to my dad and tell him, you know what, Dad, I lost my bachelor. So I went with him. I explained the situation, and my dad was so comprehensive that was the first time that I had to overcome fear, not because of the bachelor, but because I had to speak with my father about it. That's why these 3 circles that I described at the beginning, they're not separate, right? They are all linked with each other. And I didn't know that I was just overcoming my fear, but my dad also was overcoming his fears. I'm gonna get into it in a minute, because after I finished my career, I was able to enter into Porsche. That is one of the best brands in Mexico and one of the best industries in Puebla. So when I got the job, I started to not ask money, and I was like, yeah, I'm finally free of asking money to my dad, you know? And when the moment came that I decided to come to Hult, I didn't have enough money to do it. And I got a bachelor, but it wasn't enough. I needed the other 50%, and I mean, Hult is what? Cheap, expensive? What do you think? Okay, he said it. It wasn't me, okay? So when I talked to him and I told him that I had enough money to pay half and I needed the other half, he was like, okay, Moy, yes, Dad? This time we'll be able to pay it, but you have to maintain yourself and pay the other half. I'm like, okay, Dad, yeah, thank you so much. And he has been very supportive. And I remember this time when we went to the airport, when I realized everything was the second biggest epiphany I've ever had. I was with my dad and my mother, and they all went to left me to the airport. We were eating at Italianis. I remember the place very good. I asked for an omelette with cheese and ham, and I was saying goodbye to everyone in order for me to go to the gate by myself. And I said goodbye to my mother. I wanted to say goodbye to my father, and he said, no, go first to your brothers. I'm like, okay, it's weird, right? But it's the big dad, big tough dad and everything. I went to my brothers. And then when I was going to say goodbye to my dad, I said, no, I'll go with you to the gate. It's like, okay, Dad, I won't get lost, you know? So I went with my dad to the gate. And when I turned back, because I was in front, then I turned back and saw him. He was almost crying. And he said that he was so proud of me because I had overcome every challenge and every fear that he was never able to overcome. And his biggest fear has finally become realized. That is me getting away and coming to Dubai. Thank you.
What do you think?
I think I did better than what I expected. I kind of saw some smiles, and so I think for what I had prepared, I think it was good.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of great things that you've been able to incorporate many of the elements that we spoke about before, right?
Yeah.
Can you note what are the things he did well? And anyone wants to say yes, Sajid? You were very immersed.
Yes.
And by the way, the bachelor you mean is scholarship.
Sorry. Yeah, it was scholarship. Yeah, it's my accent.
It's your Spanish, man. Okay, yes, that's your accent. Continue. You were immersed in the story. What immersed you into it? What brought you into it?
It's about, we can felt your emotion. The first time that I really felt the emotion, and at the end I was almost crying.
Yes. How many of you actually had a little choke up at the very end when, look at that, I'm one of them. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Anybody else noticed something that he did well? Yes, Simon.
One thing what was really well is that you have to be relatable in your story, and you always brought in Hult and stuff we all have been through.
Experience.
And you could see like a lot of people nodding their heads while you're saying that, especially when Hult was like, yeah, we all went through that, right? So it was really relatable, and the jokes were funny. So I think you really did a great job there.
Thank you.
Bringing the audience with you, asking questions, we were responding. We got laughed. So those are really, if this is the first time you hear me speak and give you these tips and you're able to pull this off, is you got a potential, my friend, in speaking.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you. Yeah.
that's good. Anything else that made it memorable? Yes?
Tonality, we're not monotone. You have emotion in your words, which is really easy to keep with.
Super.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I think this is good. It was really good dialogue at the very end. The brother, the mother, the hugging, the taking. We walked with you. I walked with you to the terminal. I don't know about you, but we walked. So you had people, you had places, you had dialogue. It was funny. It was light. Okay. Yes. Can you make it better? You'll see what else you can improve to make it happen.
Okay. Thank you.
Have a good rest of your life. Just kidding. Good job. Let's give Moises.